All right, guys, what's going on? Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. What is up? What is up? We are live. We are live. What is going on? Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377 here on a Tuesday. We've also got Shane Beamer's media availability today at 1:15. So we're getting after it. I see Todd Smith, Tanner Land, Travie, Noah Johns, Travis Royal, Brendan M., Wesley Newmar, John Kruger. Yes, John. Great day to punch your ticket to the NLCS. Wesley Newmar, Eric Price, Hunter Lindsay, Sean O'Brien. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate you all tuning in. Also from the Big Cock Club Discord. Head over to the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Again, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Guys, we're talking Vanderbilt. We can still talk Tennessee if you like. We can talk some baseball. We can talk whatever you want here on a Tuesday. Again, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. Excited and fired to be talking with you guys. Before we get into everything, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends, as always, at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. Guys, they're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Do not try to take on the insurance company yourself, guys. You've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it may be. The last thing you should be dealing with is paperwork, dealing with the insurance company. Let the fine folks over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, they're friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Guys, what's going on? 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Excited to take your questions, your comments, your calls again as we sit here on Tuesday of Vanderbilt week. Get fired up, folks. The Gamecocks should win a football game this weekend. So that's a reason to be excited, right? Have some perspective. By the way, really, really quickly, because the first comment here I see from Todd Smith, he said, let's get it. Great podcast this morning. I want to say thank you to you all, and I want to let you all know that I do my best to get back to every single comment, to everyone who takes the time to comment and show love and show support. I try to get back to every single person. But if I do not get back to you, I do want to let you all know that I do not take those comments for granted. And I will say this honestly, that there's a lot of you who comment every single day, who show love, show support, that means so much more than you know, and I look forward to those type of comments. And it's just the human condition, right? It's human nature. It feels good to know that the work you're doing is being appreciated. So I want to say thank you to you all that continue to voice your support and show love and show support, and it really truly does mean the world. So again, to Todd Smith, to everyone else, I know Brack is another one. I know my guy Lance Player is another one. I know many of you out there, you continue to show love and support. So again, thank you all so much. I just want to let you all know that even if I don't respond to you directly, if I don't get back to you, it means so much more, And again, we all have our ups and our downs and our good days and our bad days. And those type of comments, that type of love and support, it really keeps you pushing. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate it. I just want to let you guys all know that. Tanner Lamb, what's going on, my guy? Travis Hill. By the way, Tanner, I know you DM me. If you have any problems selling those tickets, I'm sure we can find some Gamecocks that want to go. So I will DM you back after this, but we'll make sure those tickets get sold. Noah Johns, what's up, my man? Travie, Brennan M. again. Go Bravos. Yes, Braves playing at 5:15, I think, today? 5:15? Eric Price has delayed a game on the host. Yeah, you know what it was? I forgot to write something on the whiteboard, so I was doing the whiteboard in that last beat the clock, if you will. I was a minute late, I think, because I was like, I got ready to go, and I'm like, we got to change up the whiteboard. So My apologies, guys. Hunter Herlong, appreciate you. I did see the merch. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, by the way, speaking of merch, many of you have been asking. We are dropping new merch very, very soon. It probably won't be today. I'm thinking, I don't know. It's going to be within the next week for sure. I mean, basically what it's going to be is all of our Beamer Ball, Shane Storm, all aboard the Shane train, and many of our other pieces. We're going to release merchandise for the fall and winter. So all your long sleeve stuff, your hoodies, your jackets, everything you need. So again, be sure to check that out. Really excited to get that merchandise out. Also might have some special pieces dropping. I don't know if it's going to be in this drop, but very, very soon. So again, be sure to stay tuned to the merchandise. And also, hey, if South Carolina wins this weekend, you'll have a 20% off promo code running through the end of Monday. So be sure you stay tuned to that. If you're looking to get some merch, hey, if you want to wait till Sunday when the promo code hits, or I'll probably run it Saturday right after the game. Whenever it may be, you guys will see it on social media. But certainly the merchandise is rocking and rolling as well. Travis says, here's some perspective. Our losses have come to teams with a 16-2 combined record. We'll be fine. Just have to go through this painful process. Yeah, so guys, tomorrow's show, I'm really excited. You know, normally on Wednesday, we're talking gambling, of course, best bet SEC gambling picks. And we will do that tomorrow, by the way. We will do that again. But tomorrow's show, instead of diving into, you know, the presser, because there hasn't been like a ton to pull from those necessarily. You know, Shane Beamer's doing a pretty good job with the coach speak, and I highly doubt today, you know, we're going to tune into his press conference at 1:15. I highly doubt today he says anything that's really off the wall or, you know, crazy. What we're going to spend tomorrow's show, the majority of it doing, mid-season report card, folks. Yes, can you believe it, by the way? We're already at the halfway point of the 2021 season. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We're already at the halfway point. So it's time for our mid-season report card. So I will grade offense, defense, special teams, coaching, and give an overall grade. And if you did not see on Twitter, we are running polls for each of those, asking you guys, how would you grade each? And I'd love to hear today. We can talk about it tomorrow as well. Again, I'll release graphics, and we'll talk report card and everything else. So, yes, Eric Price, Saturday is a home game. So it is a home game. Lance Player, appreciate you, my man. Yeah, we'll be back out at Seawells, by the way, spots 93 to 96. Back out at Seawells. We'll be getting out there about 11 a.m. or so. So going to be a really good time. If you have not been to the TSUS/Big Cock Club tailgate, ask anyone who has. It is a damn good time. We have a very, very good time. So I highly suggest you come out if you're going to be in the city. It's going to be a really good time. Travis Hill, TSUS.store. TSUS.store. That is the site for the merchandise, tsus.store. Also, if you just go to any of our social medias, if you click the link in bio, you'll see it there. Also, by the way, another side note, for those who are wondering why the Daily Crow is not being shown on Twitter, for whatever reason, our Periscope account out of nowhere just got disabled, which doesn't make any sense because we were using it like every single day. So I have emailed Periscope. We're trying to get that reactivated. But for those who are wondering why the Daily Crow is not showing up on Twitter, that is why. I don't really know why. And I don't think many people did tune in on Twitter anyways, but it's kind of annoying. So if you are one that did and you're wondering why it's not showing up, that's why. So anyways, whatever. It is what it is. I know the majority of you, I think, tune in on Facebook and YouTube anyways, but, you know, I like to cover all the bases, and certainly Twitter being one of them. So either way, just to let you all know. Eric Price, yeah, it is fair weekend. Actually, the fair gets going tomorrow. I know it's tough, too, because, I mean, listen, I live walking distance to the stadium, so I don't care that the fair's in town. But for people that don't, I can understand how that's really annoying to have to drive into town and the fair be there, and you got fair traffic, you got game traffic. But I'm glad the fair's back, and I'll be honest, I'm glad the fair's back. I moved here in 2019 and got to experience the fair, and it was a really, really good time. So I'm glad the fair's back. I'm gonna have to go get me a funnel cake. Maybe we'll do the Daily Crow live from the fair. We could do that. I don't know. I don't know if we should do that. I think that'd be kind of – I think the logistics behind that would be kind of tough. And also it would take away the call-in capabilities of the show, which we don't want to do, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Would be fun, though. Would be fun. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Here's an interesting question, guys, I want to ask you. Because, again, I have a different perspective on it. Because I see things like views, clicks, downloads, number of viewers, you could say. And this is not to say those things have fallen off, because they haven't. You guys have continued to rock and roll and support. And, I think we're actually on pace for another record-setting month of the podcast and all that good stuff. But I'm curious to get you guys' take, because I think most of the fan base understood coming into this season the task that was at hand. And I don't think people had, for the most part, unrealistic expectations. But as we sit here at the halfway point, what do you think the temperature of the fan base is? Do you think people are still excited for Gamecock football? Do you think people are really looking forward to the game this weekend? Do you think people are just as fired up as they were in the preseason? Or do you think people are starting to fall off a little bit and they're like, oh, well, guess we got basketball season? What do you think the temperature of the fan base is? Because I think it's definitely a mixed bag, which is unfortunate. Because again, we have 6 more opportunities to go out on the football field and, make positive things happen. And getting to a bowl game is actually still possible, believe it or not. It's still possible. I know it sounds crazy, but it is possible. You got a chance to move to 4-3 after 7 games on Saturday. And I think that 4-3 after 7 was probably pretty realistic. It's only 1 game off the pace of what I picked in the preseason. It's only 1 game off the pace. So, I just wonder what the temperature of the fan base is. Because, I know the folks that tune into this show, these are the diehards. We're the diehards in here, right? Because people ask me all the time, how do you do a daily show? How do you do a daily live stream? I said, for the diehard, there's always something to talk about. For the diehard. Again, for the casual fan, maybe not so much. But move that over a little bit. For the diehard, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to discuss. But I don't know. Let's see. Price stoked for the fair. I am too. Corey Bridges. What's up, my guy? He says, I'm sure you've heard of the Satterfield rumors about how he may be having issues with the players and coaches. Do you know if any of it is true? I feel like people are just making stuff up because they aren't happy with the offense. Corey, great question. That's a fantastic question, by the way, because I'm sure you all seen it on Facebook and these Facebook groups. Listen, I'm not out here to say that this person doesn't have legitimate sources and know someone and know things. I am not putting stock into what some random person on Facebook says. You know what I mean? I will do my due diligence and do my digging and text my people. I feel like this really isn't the time to do that, honestly. You know what I mean? This isn't really the time to do that type of digging. Again, I take it with a grain of salt. I would suggest you do the same, because there are people that are very upset, that are very frustrated, that they want to see a change come hell or high water. And so whether that means, how much of it's true? Even if it is true, how much of it is true? You know what I'm saying? I just think putting stock into what some random person in a Facebook group says that, you wouldn't know from just a random person, I wouldn't suggest it. I would not suggest it. I would not. Now, if it's true, it'll come out in due time if it is true. But I don't know. It kind of random time. You think if South Carolina would have beat Tennessee, that would have came out? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. So I wouldn't put much stock into it at all. That's just me. That's just me. You do with the information what you will. I wouldn't put much stock into it. John Gibbs says, your show is the best, hands down, and it's only going to get better in the long run. John, thank you. I appreciate the love, my man. Thank you. Jacob Edwards says, I think most folks had higher expectations than what should have been expected. Vegas said 3.5. That was the correct number. Again, at this point, because how I would grade the first half of the season, right? That's one of my questions too. How would you grade the first half as a whole? Certainly it's not an A, right? Certainly it's not. But, and again, I know maybe some of you get tired of hearing me talk about Vegas and spreads and what they, but Vegas does not build mansions off winners' money. Vegas knows what they're talking about. So when you look at the spreads, South Carolina has won every game it was supposed to, and it's lost every game it was supposed to. Bottom line. That's it. And really, guys, you could argue, per Vegas, the 3 games you were supposed to lose, they weren't even toss-ups. It would have been an upset if you won. Granted, I know the Kentucky game was only 5.5 or a 6-point spread, depending on where you saw the line, which is, okay, not a huge spread, but Kentucky was a 6-point favorite on your home field. I mean, if you were in Lexington, you'd have been a double-digit underdog. So it's not like South Carolina has had some egregious result where, it was supposed to win and it didn't show up and it just looked like total dog crap. That hasn't happened. You've won the ones you were supposed to win, and you've lost the ones you were supposed to lose. And I could have told you guys in the preseason that you weren't going to be favored against Georgia, Kentucky, or Tennessee. You weren't going to be favored. I picked a 4-2 start because I figured, out of Kentucky and Tennessee, I feel like South Carolina is able to steal one of those swing games. Does it shock me they lost both? No, it does not. So, I saw somebody on Twitter say that, I would grade the start of the season a D. That's, what were you expecting? 5-1? I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So, let's see. Tim Dorn says, I think people are starting to fall off. It's unfortunate. We all want to win. Hopefully we get to 6 wins and get a bowl game. Tanner Land says, I think people are starting to fall off big time already. A lot of Carolina fans left before halftime at the Tennessee game. Well, in their defense, Tanner, it was 38-7. I mean, I'm not even going to be the one to throw stones at Carolina fans who left that game early. Hey, what you spend your money on your ticket. If you want to leave early, whatever. So be it. So be it. Especially when it's 38-7. So I can't blame Gamecock fans for wanting to see a better product. I can't. John Gibbs says, I know I'm still fired up again. The fan base plays a role in the success of the program. If we all just pack it up shop and show negative energy all the time, what makes you think the program will get better? The players and coaches see and hear this. It matters. Yeah, John, it does. But at the same time, fans are going to be fans no matter what. So, I mean, if every program was dictated solely on what fans are saying on social media or the fans' energy, every program would just be like this. Because, I mean, fans are the extreme one. It's not popular. It's not popular to be in the middle. It's not popular to have the rational take, if you will, the calm, rational, well thought. It's just not. It's not popular to do that. It's also not popular to have the real take. It's popular to be on one extreme or the other. So I forget. I don't know if I could find it or not. Quote. I wanted to find this quote real quick. Maybe I'm not going to be able to. Well, it was Colin Cowherd. I don't know if you like Colin Cowherd or not, but he said something I really appreciated. Yeah, so he said it's easier to join the avalanche on Twitter than to be buried by it. So I think that speaks volumes, honestly. So David Barnes, Carolina loss used to take me the better part of a week to get over it, but last week I was almost over the L midway through the third quarter. Let's brush this off and beat up on Vandy Saturday. Sean O'Brien says, sources, bro, trust me. Bryant Hughes, what's going on? Liam Carney says, makes sense there will be growing pains and frustration in the building. I think my excitement over Shane Beamer erased the memory of struggling last season. Tim Dorn says he's grading it as a C- to start. That's fair. That's fair. There's been some good things. There's been some bad things. It's kind of been right in the middle. I think that's very fair to grade it a C-. That's fair. Brandon Wagner, grade C+. The only real disappointing loss was Tennessee. Yeah. I think a C grade is about right for the first half. Let's see. Jesse Jacobs says, Chris, I know Saturday was terrible. Why do I start every week with a feeling that this team can get things going and still finish with 6 wins? Because you're a hopeful, optimistic Gamecock fan, and that's sort of what you have to be a Gamecock fan, as an eternal optimist. That's it. So. Let's see. Derek McLean, I'm worried about losing the Delp type kids. I mean, listen, if he comes here, he comes here. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So, it is what it is. I mean, what else? Listen, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can Carolina do? I mean, honestly, what else can they do? Brian Welch, what's crazy, we're still considered to have one of the best fan bases in college football, and it's actually horrible compared to what it was when I was a kid in the late 90s, early 2000s, and growing up. It didn't matter who we were playing in Willie B. It was always packed. The last row on the upper deck, that was against teams like Louisiana Lafayette, Wofford, and UAB. Now it's like we can't even get close to selling half of the upper deck seating against those non-conference teams, and hell, sometimes against teams like Vandy and Mizzou. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, Brian. I'll tell you this. The days of fans having blind loyalty, I think it's over. And it's not just at South Carolina, it's everywhere. Listen, because you're talking about like the 90s. And listen, I was, like I told you guys before, I didn't really dive into it and become a diehard fan until I was like 11 or 12. So around like 2002, beginning of 2003. But even then, right, like games were on pay-per-view. I remember South Carolina playing like Louisiana Lafayette, and the only way we could tune in was on the radio. So you had a lot of incentive to go watch in person. You did. It's like, hey, instead of listening on the radio, let's go to the game. Or instead of paying $40 for pay-per-view, let's just pay $40 and go, right? Now there's just so many options to stream games. You can watch games in the comfort of you can watch every game from the comfort of your own home. And I think South Carolina, what happened, guys, is fans got a taste of real success, and they don't want to go back. They don't want to go back. They don't want to sit through 0-11. They don't want to sit through 1-10. They're not going to. They're just not going to. You're not going to put 80,000 butts in the seats losing. You're just not going to do it anymore. And again, this is not just a South Carolina problem. But, so yeah, I mean, the whole touting of the best fan base, and listen, I love the Gamecocks fan base, and I think throwing any negative shade at the Carolina fan base is wrong, but I don't know, man. It's really hard to sell, hey, we have the best fan base in college football, and, you know, you have a game against Troy, and there's 35,000 people there. I mean, how are you supposed to tell Oscar Delp this is the best fan base in college football? I mean, I understand the on-field results aren't exactly what we want them to be, but here's how I kind of look at it. I mean, guys, there's only 7 opportunities. There's only 7 home games, and you're not even going to go? There's only 7. And, you know, everybody spends all preseason just clamoring for football, just dying for football, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It's strange, though, man, because all I've heard about, you know, from the old heads, no disrespect, the old heads is, you know, 1-21. We pack the stadium out every week, you know, this, that, whatever. Those days are long gone. Long gone. So, Travis Hill said, so many had high unrealistic expectations, and those fans have now checked out. As far as the level-headed, rational fans, they'll be there Saturday, but I'm afraid it's going to be a very scarce crowd. What will be the bigger crowd, Troy or Vandy? I got to say it's Vandy. It's homecoming, too, man. You're not going to go to homecoming? Hey, Jay Bowers. Hey, Chris, if we were to lose to Vandy, which I don't think we will, do you think someone will get fired after that game? If so, who and why? God almighty. I don't even want to speak this into existence, AJ, which I'm surprised, AJ, you're the one bringing this up because you've been one of the most positive and optimistic Gamecocks I've seen all season in the comments. So I'm surprised this is you bringing this up. God, like I said, I don't even want to. I don't even want to speculate and say I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Something would change. Would it be a coach? I have no idea. Let's see. Cody Gaskins, what's up, my guy? What's going on? Tim Dorn, I was a full Scully donor for 15 years. I didn't miss a home game from 93 to 07. I was there, but they priced me out and they started the damn seat tax. I said, screw that, I'll watch it on TV. I mean, that's another thing, man. Taking a family of 4 to a ball game these days, it's very pricey. It's very expensive. And listen, again, from the consumer side of things, guys, I'll be honest with you. It's great to tout the best fan base in college football, but I don't blame people because you pay for a product. I don't blame people if they don't want to go to games and the product's not good. Like, If you don't want to travel to another road game this season because of what happened in Knoxville, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You know? Money don't grow on trees, right? Like it's nobody enjoys just throwing away money. That's kind of what you do when you go on a trip like that. Like that's at least how I look at it. I love my team. I'll stick with them through thick and thin, but it's tough, man. After watching the Tennessee game, it would be very tough for me to hop on a plane and go to either Columbia, Missouri, or Texas A&M. I can tell you that right now. So, but yes, if you're not going to go, give your tickets to somebody. Absolutely. David Barnes, do you think the lack of attendance nationwide will cause ticket prices to drop? I don't know if it'll cause ticket prices to drop, but I think what will happen is you're going to stop seeing these huge stadiums. I think you're going to stop seeing huge stadiums. I mean, at this point, hell, you could probably take you could probably take down the freaking upper south end zone seats at this point, because we're not putting 80,000 in there anymore. Put those people in the upper decks on the sides. You're not even filling them out. So, I mean, why do you even need 80,000 seats, 77,000, whatever the number is now? You're only putting 65,000 in there. Much as I hate to say it. But whatever. What people want to do with their Saturdays, it's not really my business. Whatever, do whatever you like. But yeah, it's a college football problem. It's not just a South Carolina problem. So again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Appreciate you all tuning in. Quick reminder, podcast did drop this morning, episode 516 with Alex McGrath. Great conversation with Alex. Of course, we talk everything with the Tennessee game and also look ahead to this weekend's game against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Let's see. Oh, there's college football tonight. Whoa, the Fun Belt gets going tonight. Whoa, App State, Louisiana Lafayette at 7:30. How about that? Wow. Gambler's Paradise on a Tuesday. App State a 4.5-point favorite. By the way, guys, Gamecocks sit right now an 18-point favorite in this ball game. Over-under at 51. The over-under at 51 in the game. Let's see. Vols are better than you has jumped in the chat. I've been a Tennessee fan for a long time. I went through 98 and other games. Let's see, other games. We won 10-plus games. Once you have a taste of success, you don't want to leave. A dream you don't want to wake up from, indeed. Dude, I had season tickets. My first year was 2013. I mean, I still remember the days of going to games, and the question wasn't if we're going to win, it's by how much. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, man. It was truly just incredible. It was incredible. But whatever. Tim Dorn says he's going to be in the building. How about that? Attaboy, Tim. Michael Cavalier says, why are people giving up too quickly on this team? It's a week-to-week schedule with a first-year head coach, staff with none of Beamer's recruits. I don't know. TDC Questions channel, Gamecock68 says, I took 6 people to the Kentucky game. We sat in section 22, and I spent $2,300 for the tickets. Pricing has definitely got out of hand. Dude, that's insanity. $2,300. Brendan M. says, remember last year's App State, Louisiana game the night before Beamer got hired and Napier's intentional safety? Yes, I do remember that. What an interesting game that was. David Vincent, yep, the depth chart is basically exactly the same. Twan loves kicks. What's going on, my guy? What's going on? Wesley Newmar, will Kentucky hold up to the hype? I say no. My pick is Georgia 45, Kentucky 17. Yeah, I think Georgia's going to run away with it. I think Kentucky's a solid football team, no question. But Georgia's they're elite. Georgia's elite, man. Georgia's elite. Georgia's elite. Jesse Jacobs hyped on Clemson catching that loss to Syracuse on a fantastic Friday night. Indeed, Jesse, indeed. Don't forget, by the way, Friday, the Madness on Maine for basketball. Yours truly is going to head out there. So should be a good time. Going to be a fun Friday night. Yeah. Caleb says winning cures everything. Start winning and start filling the stadium again. That's a good point. Vols are better than you. Says, I'll give you all this. You're a better fan base than Clemson. It's not even close. Thank you for that. We already knew that. Lance Player, Saturdays are for the boys and the Bush Lattes, indeed. Savannah Webster, almost $800 for 4 tickets to Clemson. I mean, it's just wild. Yeah, I mean, that's $200 a piece for the Clemson game, really. Christian Carver says, what would be so South on a football be losing to Tennessee and then beating Texas A&M like us losing to UNC a few years ago and then beating Georgia that next month. Let's just play the one in front of us, man, and try to find a way to win that one. So Liam Carney says, do we have a shot against Clemson this year? Can we finally get one? You know, that game is so far off. There's a lot to take place until then. It'll be the best chance South Carolina has to beat Clemson in quite a while, though. So it'll be the most intriguing Carolina-Clemson game we've seen since probably 2014. So let's see again, guys. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Charlie Morton getting the start for Atlanta tonight, by the way. Charlie Morton getting the start. Vols are better than you, says Gamecocks fans have more class in their pinky finger, actually in their eyelashes, than Clemson fans will ever have. I remember when Clemson fans used racial slurs towards their basketball player. Yeah, those folks in the upstate. There's something in them hills, all right, that's for sure. Let's see. Brian McGuffey going to the Vandy game for teacher appreciation. Hell yeah. Travis Force's another point is this. Dude spent $2,300. We've been told that if we want to play with SEC, we'll have to see the prices go up on tickets for facilities and staff. We have since been treated a must-champ and now a completely inexperienced head coach with a staff with much to prove. Travis, listen, man. Listen, if you're that disgruntled with Beamer and the whole staff, then just wait 6, 7, 8 years or however long it takes until they're all fired. Then we'll talk to you then. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, what choice do you have? I mean, I guess you could spend the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years just complaining. I guess you could, but what a miserable existence that is. Again, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I was the one that said fire Muschamp, but there was actually cause behind that. I mean, there's no cause behind trying to fire a guy 6 games in. It's absurd, man. It's a waste of energy. That's just the way I view it. Hey, respect the opinion, but I mean, if you don't want to support, don't go. I'm not holding a gun to your head. You ain't got to go. You ain't got to support. You ain't got to tune in. You ain't got to do anything. So, and the necessary moves, the necessary adjustments will be made. But firing someone mid-season of year one, that's not the move. That's a stupid move. That's a very dumb move. That would be the worst move possible. That would be the worst possible. Like the people out there who are saying, fire Marcus Satterfield and put Eric Kimry and Justin Stepp as co-OC. Bro, neither of them have called a play either. Like, what are you talking about? You just sound like an idiot. You sound like an idiot. Not you specifically, but just I've seen that, and I'm like, I don't get it. Again, if a change needs to be made at the end of the year, then fine. But after 6 weeks, no, dude. No. These men all know they're coaching for their jobs. Like, nobody in that room is dumb enough to be like, well, I got a lifetime contract. I'll be able to leave when I want. No big deal. Dude, everybody knows it's a results-oriented business. Like, if it don't get done, make a change. If it don't get done, make a change. Again, at least give people the opportunity to adjust. Give them the opportunity to fail also. Brian Welch, the student tickets are even free, and there's always an empty upper left section, the student section. I hate to see that. I mean, how do you get students in? Some students just want to drink and go to 5 points. I don't know what you do, Brian. I don't know what you do. Daddy-O, the money starting with the new ESPN deals is going to fill the department's pockets. Oh, it will, dude. Yeah, the money, the TV money is insane. Justin says, I think Clayton White's done a great job as DC. Marcus, I think, has learning curves, but Shane has faith in him as he owns up to telling him to take the shots. We're better than last year. Yeah, we're definitely better than last year, I would say. Twan Love Kicks says, do you think it's possible for a first-year coach to coach his team up to be competitive? I mean, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think a coach can make a positive impact and just changing the whole mindset of your players. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, I don't look at our football team. I don't know if you're implying that we haven't done that. I don't look at our football team and say, like, we've come out and we've looked uninspired or, like, we don't want to be out there or, like, we're not trying. I think we've played with great heart and effort and, you know, playing as hard as we can. Maybe we're just getting the most out of what we got. Maybe, you know. Yes, Brandon Wagner, I agree. More Amari and Brown. Give somebody else Dak Joyner's reps. I'm sorry, but Jacob Edwards need at least 3 to 4 years of recruiting to really see changes with how depleted the roster is. David Barnes says, I know it's just Vandy, but I think we can get the running game back on track and instill confidence going forward. Will it be enough for A&M, Florida, Auburn, and Clemson? You have to use, David, you have to use this weekend to instill confidence because, like you mentioned, you've got A&M, Florida, at Mizzou, Auburn, and Clemson. You need to gain all the confidence you can get going into that stretch. You need to gain all the confidence you can get, man, because that's going to be a treacherous run of games. So whether it be run game, you need a solid offensive performance on Saturday. Not even just solid, a dominant. You need to be dominant Saturday. You need to be. You need, like, as much as we think we need it, the fan base needs it, this football team needs it. They need something to feel good about. Vols are better than you, says. You guys will kill Vandy. They're way worse than Carolina. They're way worse. I mean, again, there's a reason the Gamecocks are an 18-point favorite. All right, let's jump to the phone lines real quick.
Call from
Leonard.
Leonard, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I've heard your shows, and by the way, I listen to your show every day, and I appreciate what you do for us.
I appreciate that.
I don't understand. I mean, I've been a Carolina fan. I'm 37 years old. I've been a Carolina fan since I was 5, and we have had some hellacious coaches in our history. I mean, we had Holtz, and we had Spurrier, but what people need to seem to understand is we gave Muschamp 5 years,
right?
And people are ready to throw Shane Beamer under the bus after 6 games.
Well, I don't think most are. I don't think most are. I think there's a small, loud minority, right? But I want to make clear, I don't think most are. But continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. But I'm just trying to figure out. It's 6 games in, guys, and I know we got a ways to go. I've watched every game so far this year, and we can improve everywhere. But I just don't see what people are thinking. We need to change this and change that just yet. Now, if we go this weekend and heaven forbid we can't show up against Vanderbilt, then maybe then we can talk about some changes. But, like I said, we gave Muschamp 5 years, 5 entire years, and all he did was decline the program, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, it takes time. And again, I think part of it, man, we live in an instant gratification culture where people want things. They want the answers immediately. They don't want to wait, right? They don't want to be patient. Nobody likes that word. That's like it's like a curse word for college football fans is patience. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying don't be upset. And I mean, that's great. That means you care if you're upset when your team loses. But to try to draw conclusions in year one, again, it might turn out in years 4, 5, 6 where we're like, okay, well, maybe we should have seen it coming, whatever. But, like, you just don't know the answers right now. You can't. You just can't. And, again, that's not like the popular take, I guess, but it's the right one. You just don't know the answers right now. You have to give people time. You have to.
You're right. And like you said right before I called in about Amarian Brown, we need to see more of him. I mean, Dak's had his chance, and I love Dak. I appreciate him staying, through the quarterback changes and stuff like that. But I think it's time we try somebody new.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, again, I love the kid for staying and everything, but this ain't Pee Wee football. We need to play the best 11, and just hard for me to believe that he's one of our best 11, if you'll be totally honest. It's just hard for me to believe that.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I appreciate your time, Chris. I'm going to get ready to go to work myself. You have a great day, and continue what you're doing, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you, my man. Thanks so much. Have a great day yourself.
You too, buddy.
All right, thanks. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls. Appreciate the call there. Michael Sawyer says, anybody else left the Gamecock Nation Facebook site because of all the negativity? I left the group yesterday. Oh, man, we're throwing Facebook groups under the bus. I'll tell you what, Twitter is a cesspool, right? It can be for comments. Facebook, though, man. I mean, just like as of lately, I've noticed, I'm like, bro, Facebook is, it's on a whole different level, man. People get vicious on Facebook. So, Daddy O says the internet has ruined patience. I mean, you think about it, man. We don't even we don't like to even sit watching a 30-second video anymore, right? So, like, nobody wants to be patient. Nobody wants to hear, oh, give it time. No, nobody wants to hear that, man. Nobody wants to hear that. And again, it's people talk, oh, it's USC, it's the Gamecock. Take the logo off the helmet. Take this logo off the helmet. South Carolina is a blank team. If in any other situation, I think Gamecock fans would look at the situation and say, yeah, it's going to be a bumpy road for them. If they can get to a bowl game, it's a great year. Probably realistically, they'll just miss it, but that's okay. They need to give their head coach time. But when you try to put that same exact logic on your own team, fans struggle to do that. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Michael Sawyer says he's got 5 and 7, maybe 6 and 6. Okay. Let's jump back to the phone lines real quick.
Robbie Davis.
Robbie, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's crazy that people are asking for Beamer's head on a silver platter after just 6 games. In the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, come on. You gave Muschamp 5 years, and that didn't work. I truly believe wholeheartedly that if you give Beamer some time to iron out the issues, he can turn us into what we used to be, if not close to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah. And like I said, like I told the last caller, I like to think that, and this is why, I told myself coming in this week, I was like, I'm not going to give too much attention to these comments because the majority is fine with Shane. Everybody's all aboard the Shane train. There's a small vocal minority, but I think for the most part, man, the fan base is understanding, and it's like, hey, it's year one, man. Like, hey, and I'll tell you right now, Shane Beamer may turn out to be a bust. He may, but there's no way you're going to know that in year one. There's just no way. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, there's no way.
There's no way you can know in year one. There's no freaking way.
It's impossible to know if a coach in any sport is a bust after 1 year.
Right.
And I'm thinking like people that want Beamer's head, I'm like, do you think you can do better? I'd like to see you try and do better with the talent we've got.
Yeah. Top to bottom again. You got to build in recruiting and Shane Beamer and Satterfield and Clayton White and his staff, they're going to go after a certain type of players. And so you wonder, does this roster reflect the type of players they want on their roster? And I would probably say for the most part, no. Probably not. You know what I mean? It's not often that a coach takes over and it's like he has ideally his his roster already in place. That like never happens. So again, you got to give him multiple recruiting cycles to get athletes in here. Jimmy's and Joe's. That's what it's going to take. So, and he's got to get better too. But again, you're banking on him getting better as a coach as he's here longer and longer and longer.
Right. And by the way, what was the score in the Braves game the other day? Braves won, right?
Braves won yesterday 3-0. They're up 2-1 in the series. If they win today, they're going to the NLCS. So they play at like 5:15, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Jock Peterson hit a big 3-run homer yesterday. So
nice. All right. Well, you have a good one, okay?
Robbie, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, take care. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Sit Dog 9 says Ray Tanner doesn't have that mistake in his pocket to make another Muschamp mistake again. I'd quit comparing the two. I mean, who is really comparing the two guys? I don't know. I don't know. Jeff Gullidge says, I agree time needs to be given, but the loss to Tennessee was bad. We have better players than Tennessee. At least I believe that. It was a tough loss to take, but the future is bright. We have a lot to look forward to. It was a tough loss. I mean, certainly. You fall down 28-0. Everybody's got to be better. You can't fall down 28-0. It can't happen. It can't happen, but you got ambushed, things snowballed, and there you go. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Again, it's just, I think it's funny, the culture of football, you know, heads must roll. Someone must be benched. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, hey, we just got beat. We had a bad day. Nope. Somebody got to be fired. Travis Ford says, you keep trying to make this about Shane. I and most like Shane, but Marcus Satterfield is lost. It is obvious on off the field. We are waiting to see Beamer make the right move there. Well, Travis, I mean, unless the shoe fits, I'm not speaking directly about you. I'm just speaking in general that there are some that are questioning, you know, what's the timeline for Shane Beamer, this, that, whatever. Questioning Marcus Satterfield is extremely fair. You should be. He's making a lot of money to coach offensive football. But, again, I just say that, you know, will Shane Beamer make the move at the end of the season? Maybe he will. I don't know. But firing somebody 6 games into a season is stupid. I don't care if it's even the right move. It's dumb. Firing your offensive coordinator 6 games in is dumb. In year 1, that is dumb. It's very dumb. It'd be a very stupid. Can you imagine? Let me pose this. Can you imagine? We just got beat by Tennessee and beat pretty bad. We're coming into a Vandy game. We have to have, right? No question. It's a must win. No doubt. Can you imagine if on Monday or even today in his presser, Shane Beamer says, hey, just so y'all know, we fired Marcus Satterfield as our offensive coordinator. Do you really think this program needs that kind of turmoil going into the game this weekend? Do you think this program needs like anything else going against it right now outside of the obstacles and the hurdles it's trying to overcome currently, trying to solve how to score, trying to overcome deficiencies at certain positions, deficiencies on the roster? Like, that is the last thing you need. If a change needs to be made at the end of the season, then so be it. But firing anyone 6 games in, stupid. Stupid. It's just a stupid idea. Especially when it's a coordinator. You want to fire the O-line coach, then I guess whatever. You know, Auburn fired their wide receivers coach. But firing the OC 6 games in? Again, Travis, you might be right. I'm not saying you might not be. It's black and white. It's not going to be this, hey, if we don't get better offensively, maybe it won't be the end of this year. But like I said yesterday, by the end of next year, Marcus Satterfield will not have a job because it's a results-oriented business. But through 6 weeks, it's just, to me, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy to be calling for Satterfield's head 6 weeks in. That's my only point. You might be right in the long run. You certainly might be because he's as unproven a commodity as there is. But I'm going to at least give people the opportunity to grow and evolve and get better, especially when it's not their players, it's not their roster, it's not their personnel. I'm going to give them the opportunity to improve and get better. So, and yeah, I mean, listen, Travis says he shouldn't have been hired. Fair. Fair. I listen, I said when he was hired that I don't blame Gamecock fans if you feel a little underwhelmed because you were sold when Shane Beamer got hired that you were going to hire this big-time OC. And was Satterfield that big-time OC hire? I mean, I think most people, including myself, when he was hired, said, who is that? I never even heard of the guy. So, hey, but Shane Beamer's a big boy. He's getting paid a lot of money to make decisions. So we'll see what decisions he makes. But again, I just think it's a waste of energy calling for his head 6 games. I think that's a waste of energy. If you want to predict he's not going to work out, that's totally on you. That's fine. Maybe you'll be right. You might be right. But, you know, I don't think it's just play calling. I don't think it's just scheme. I think there's personnel issues. There's been obvious execution issues. So it's hard for me to blame it all on one thing. Guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. We are tuning into Shane Beamer's media availability at 1:15. So stay tuned for that, guys. Also, check out the podcast that dropped this morning if you have not done so. We're going to take a quick break, just one break today, and then we'll be back on the other side, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, and then diving into Shane Beamer's media availability at 1:15. Guys, Tuesday, October the 12th. Appreciate you all tuning in. Questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Back here taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel to be sure that your questions are answered. Chad Godwin says, fans need to come down year one, not Beamer players he recruited. It is personnel issues. Dylan Prothman says, the Vols suck. We're just playing our worst football. Are we playing our worst football? I don't know, man. I think we just are who we are. I think we're a ragtag bunch of Gamecocks with a bunch of first-year coaches. That's just what we are. We are who we are. That's it. We are who we are. You know, as Steve Spurrier used to say, you are what your record says you are. We are who we are. So, Billy Vincent says coaches hold players accountable on good teams. Players hold players accountable on great teams. It's a great point. It's a fantastic point. Let's see here. Got some natural light shining through here in the studio. You love to see that. You truly do love to see that. Jesse Jacobs says, I'm so lost. People talking about firing. This isn't even his class, man. Come on this crazy. Yeah, Jesse, like I said, I'm going to stop giving light to it. Again, because 99% of the fan base is on board with coach and understands the task at hand and knows it's going to be a process and knows it's going to take a couple of years. You know, I don't want to spend my days, my minutes, my hours here on the Daily Crow and on the podcast, the content, voicing anything different to you all to make you all think that, oh, that's the popular narrative that, you know, there should be a change. Because it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. John Gibbs says it'd be hilarious, though, to be typical Carolina and go to College Station, upset the Aggies. Wishful thinking, but I wouldn't put it past this team. I'd love to see it, but dude, we haven't beaten A&M ever. Last couple hadn't even been close. So my expectations for that game, John, are very, very, very low, to be honest with you. Twan Love Kicks says, don't some of Shane's decisions making scare you a little bit? Every game, he lets his ego take over, and it hurts the team. In what ways, Twan Love Kicks, is he letting his ego take over? I mean, he's making some decisions that you maybe look at and you say that's an inexperienced coach, but I wouldn't say it's an ego-driven decision. I don't know. If you want to enlighten me, that would be great. I don't know if that's it. That it's a ego-driven decision. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm following you there. Let's see. Luke Doty apparently says using a fullback is something that USC is going to keep playing around with. Going to see more of it. I like that. I think Kevin Harris runs beautifully out of that. I think Kevin Harris should be run almost exclusively out of a power, true traditional power set. I think that's where Kevin's just going to be most successful, is running out of that type of set for sure. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Appreciate you all tuning in. Here on a Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021. Christian Carver says, I've read and heard through the grapevine that A&M fans are classy to the visiting fans. I've heard that. I've never been, but I have heard that. So, yeah, if you're thinking about making the trip, go right ahead. Could be a good time. So, Mark Riegel, all he has to say is, Doty ain't it. Some high-level analysis from Mark Riegel here on a Tuesday. Mark, give me some context why Luke Doty ain't it. I'll allow it. I will allow said commentary, but I need something more than just Doty ain't it. Jimmy Mendio, this is water, my friend. Agua. This is agua. And I would say this, too, to Mark Riegel. If Doty ain't it, who is it? Who is it? Who on this roster is it? I can't wait. Humor me with your answer. Humor me. And, Mark, you can also call in. You know you can call in. I always enjoy hearing from Mark because, again, the beauty's in the banter, guys, as I say to you many times. The beauty's in the banter. I love hearing it. But, again, I just, and I posed this on social media, guys. I posted this morning. Luke Doty at the halfway point of the season, 69 of 119, giggity, 733 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. I know he's only thrown 3 touchdowns. He didn't start playing until week 3. I mean, I just think for what he has to work with, he hasn't turned the football over. He hasn't really put it in harm's way. I mean, he's done. The only thing that's disappointed me with Luke Doty is his lack of running ability, which has a lot to do with his injury. But, I mean, what is he? I mean, he hasn't been – I mean, the people that – if you say Jason Brown, I'm going to laugh in your face. I'm going to laugh in your face until I'm blue in the face. And then Zeb Nolan, I mean, I don't think Zeb Nolan's doing anything that Luke Doty wouldn't be doing. And, hell, at least there were a couple of times on Saturday that Luke Doty did scramble. And when he gets healthy, you are going to have – and also, guys, again – people were complaining last year, why are you playing Colin Hill? Play Luke Doty. He's the quarterback of the future. It's like, guys, Zeb Nolan hung up the cleats, essentially, to come to South Carolina and coach. You want that guy to be your starting quarterback this year? He ain't going to play a snap after this season. He's done. His college career is done. Why would you put Zeb out there? His college career is over. South Carolina is not 3-3 because of the quarterback position. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not 3-3 because of quarterback. I'm not saying Luke Doty doesn't need to continue to improve and get better, but they're not 3-3 because of the quarterback. They're not. They're not. They're not, guys. That's such a lazy take. That's such a lazy take. They're not 3-3 because of the quarterback. They're 3-3 because they can't block anybody. And because they've played some pretty damn good teams as well. Mark Regal says, I've seen you trash Alinsky, Dak, and Ortray, but stay saying Luke's the guy. Trying to see what you see. Mark, you mentioned Dak and Ortray. What about those two players warrants saying anything other than they're not very good? I mean, Ortray Smith had flashes in 2017 and didn't do shit after that. And Dak has just proven what he is, which is not a playmaker in the offense. So what point are you trying to make? What point are you trying to make with the Dak and Ortray thing? I mean, I truly don't understand that. Helinski, I mean, listen, I thought Ryan was the guy of the future. All I said was the reason that Ryan didn't start last year, he lost his job. He didn't do what he needed to do, Mark. There are many reasons beyond the field of play why he lost his job. We can really go there if you want to go there. We really can. And then, I mean, Ryan Helinski went to another school and still couldn't win a job. So what are we even talking about? Bringing up Dak and Ortray, though, is a wild, wild take. I don't know if you think they're good players. They're good players in their own right, but they're not good players here. If Ortray Smith was good, he would have gotten reps, man. He would have gotten reps. Proof's in the pudding, bruh. He would have gotten reps. Dak Joyner would be actually making an impact if he were this elite talent. But he's just not. He's just not. And it's all good. Much love to Dak. All you can do is give a man the opportunities, though. When he can't capitalize on them, you are who you are. You are who you are. That's it. I'm not saying Luke Doty's a Heisman winner, but damn it, there ain't nobody on the roster that's a better option. Mark Regal says we were 2-0 with Zeb. You really going to give Zeb the credit for the EIU game? You could have played quarterback, Mark, and we'd have beat EIU. And then act like Zeb Nolan played some fantastic game against ECU is just a nutso take. Yeah, he had some nice throws down the stretch, but for the love of God, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn half of the game. So is Zeb just head and shoulders above a better passer? No, I don't think so. Numbers are inflated because he played against Eastern Illinois. And And I would say this, do you like Shane Beamer or do you not? You think they're not going to play the best option? They're not going to play the best option at quarterback? They're not going to give themselves the best chance to win? Come on. Come on. They want to win more than you, I promise you. They really do. John Gibbs said it's 100% facts that if we had a good offensive line or they got their heads out of their asses, we would have 4 wins right now and look like an average and above average football team. It all starts up front. Yeah. You can't rush for less than 4 yards per carry and be giving up 3 sacks a game and be worth a damn, to be honest with you. It's a miracle you're 3-3. With that type of O-line performance, it's a miracle you're 3-3. Dakota Lee Centerfight says Dak is second on the team in catches. Just saying. Yeah, that goes to show you how pathetic that room is in a lot of ways. I hate to say that, but that shows you how lacking we are on the outside. That's what it shows you. We're hurting. We got to go recruit some big-time ball players on the outside. That's a fact. You are correct. Thank you for pointing that out. SitDog9 says, I think the thing with Tennessee is Heupel grabbed a kid out of the portal and showed he could coach up a kid. Can Satterfield do that or Beamer? These are valid questions, not criticizing. Fair enough. What player did we grab out of the portal that is the quality of the player they grabbed? E.J. Jenkins? I mean, I just no knock on a man, but again, Hendon Hooker came from Virginia Tech. He didn't come from St. Francis. So, now again, I'm shocked Amarian Brown's not making more of an impact. I'll give you that one. That's shocking to me. But people love Justin Stepp. We're going to blame Justin Stepp? I don't think so. Jesse Jacobs says the only thing I think I would agree with the Nolan thing is I feel like his deep ball is a little bit more accurate than Luke. But when given time, Luke has been proven to be a pretty good passer. Yeah, I mean, listen, Zepp throws a pretty deep ball. No question. Look at the Georgia game. He throws a pretty deep ball. I don't think that Luke – I don't think Luke's a bad passer. I'm not saying he's a perfect player, guys, again, but – and again, it's funny. The same people that were last year saying, the people that were saying last year, you know, why play Colin Hill? He's a 1-year guy. He's not going to be here. Now they want to play Zeb Nolan, who's a 1-year guy. He's not going to be here next year. I don't understand it. Christian Carver says we're 1-2 in night games, 1-1 in noon games, and 1-0 playing at 3:30 or 4. There's the statistics we need. So, hey, odds are good we win, right? It's a 4 o'clock game. Twan Love Kicks says, I just don't understand how an O-line plays good 1 year against an all-SEC schedule, and this year we can't move an ECU defensive line, send them home to mama. Yeah, I mean, hey, Twan Love Kicks, it's the beauty of college football. Every year is different. Every year is different. Every year is different. I don't understand it either. Nobody does, but maybe Mike Bobo was just that good. I don't know. Jacob Edwards says, transfer portal will be huge in building, sustaining a winning program. Yeah, transfer portal's taking over, man. You got to utilize it. Ryan Smith says, I think we need to run more to the power I. I just don't understand how we had such a good rushing game last year, and this year we don't have that. The offensive line, has they changed that much? I don't understand it either, Ryan. I don't understand it either. Again, maybe tip your cat to Bobo. I don't know. Tim Dorn, do you think Helinski would have been the starter had he stayed? No. Tough to say, but I don't think so. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, he went somewhere else and didn't win the job, so it's tough for me to say he would have been the starter. But, again, guys, we'll never know. That's something we'll never know. By the way, guys, we got Shane Beamer's media availability upcoming shortly. JT Money, yes, let's go Braves. Let's go Bravos. Let's go Bravos for sure. Pete says, people are talking a lot about areas we can improve. Discipline's an area that requires zero talent. Can't continue these self-inflicted wounds. Pete, I agree with you 110%, man. You cannot keep shooting yourself in the foot. I agree 110%. You're right. Ryan Smith, maybe we should hire John Gruden. Again, it's just funny how people think changing one person, changing a coach is going to change everything. You got to change the players too, man. You got to change the players too. And I understand a little bit. I empathize with college football fans, Gamecock fans especially, because one of the problems, guys, is that you are all sold in recruiting that every player is an elite football player. And the truth is that they're not. Not all football players are built the same. So you got to change the roster. You got to change the Jimmies and Joes. You just have to, guys. It's no knock on anybody on the roster, but you just have to. It just, changing a coach only does so much. It only does so much. JT Money, I don't know why E.J. Jenkins didn't hit the field. I have no clue. Honestly, I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. Dakota Lee Center Fight says, I'm going to say this. I was a big Zeb guy, and Chris, I know how many times we went back and forth. But from the Georgia game, Doty has improved. Since, yes, of course, he's not perfect. He's only getting better as he gets 100% from the ankle injury. Doty's the best QB1 for SC. Once this O-line fixes their crap, this offense will be scoring points and running the ball. Yeah, it all comes back to the O-line. It's not sexy to talk about, but that's what it is. It's the offensive line. I mean, again, I hate to spend the entire season knocking our players and knocking our roster, but, I mean, I can assure you guys, Shane Beamer and that coaching staff, they're not coaching our guys to do stupid things and make dumb penalties, and they're not coaching them to do that. At some point, you got to put accountability on the players, and they got to hold themselves accountable, and they got to hold each other accountable. I mean, don't be stupid. Don't do stupid things. There ain't no coach in America teaching a kid to do that. Yes, I agree. Juju needs more touches. There's no doubt. Nick Muse at the end of today's press conference, quote, Oscar Delp, please join us. All right, Shamer should be going live any second now. Here we go. All right, let's jump over to – I'll go ahead and cut this on, and I'll cut myself off once we go live. David Barnes says, I think we'll go white, garnet, white, big game garnet, or do we finally break out – excuse me, do we finally break out the black jerseys? I don't know, man. Do we wear black? Who knows? I doubt it. I doubt it, but who knows? Here we go. All right, cool. Let's rock. Oh, shoot. My bad, guys. All right, let's rock. Here we go.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Hope everybody is having a great week. First of all, I want to say congratulations to our women's tennis freshman, Sarah Hamner, for claiming the ITA All-American National Championship title over the weekend. That is really, really awesome. First Gamecock in program history to win that event. So congrats to Sarah. That is awesome. I know Coach Kevin Epley does an amazing job with that program, and really excited to follow them as the year goes on and get out there and watch some tennis when things slow down over here for sure. Excited about being back home this weekend. Homecoming. Would hope that we would have a fantastic crowd out there on Saturday. I hope our fan base appreciates our players and how they're playing, the effort they're playing with. Wasn't always pretty, obviously, in Knoxville on Saturday. Nobody's happy about being 3-3, but one thing that you can't question us on is our effort. and how hard we're playing. And I hope our fans appreciate our players and the effort that they're playing with and the fight that they're playing with. And there's no better way to show our guys that than being in that stadium on Saturday afternoon. And like I said, after the Troy game, if you're a fan and you have season tickets and you're not using your tickets this weekend, please give them to somebody. Please. I'm doing that myself. If for tickets that anybody doesn't have, getting the word out. We love to we should have an amazing atmosphere in there on Saturday. So please get those tickets out. We got 4 home games left, and we're at the halfway point of the regular season. We got 4 home games left, and I hope none of us take for granted what a Saturday afternoon in Columbia, South Carolina, and in Williams-Brice Stadium means. After everything that we went through last year, 2020, and not being in full stadiums, to not take full advantage of a packed Williams-Brice Stadium, a Saturday afternoon in Columbia, fair or no fair going on, would be a real shame if we don't have an amazing atmosphere on Saturday. So hope our fan base will appreciates our players and the effort they're playing with, and won't take for granted what it means to come together as Gamecock Nation on Saturdays in Columbia, South Carolina. And then also to honor our Hall of Famers this weekend. Obviously, multiple Hall of Famers in multiple sports, but from a football standpoint, Mike Dura and John Abraham, and then our own Connor Shaw. So we certainly appreciate what those guys have meant to Carolina athletics and Carolina football, and certainly would hope that we'd have an amazing crowd on Saturday to honor those guys. We've got some recruits that'll be here on official visits. We've got a lot of recruits that'll be here for unofficial visits. So we'd love to show them what we talk about. We got the greatest home field advantage in America, and that's not just for certain games. That should be for every game. So hope that we'll see our fan base show up on Saturday for that, because we will certainly need them. Got an improving Vanderbilt team coming in here for sure. Got a lot of respect for Clark Lee, their new head football coach, somebody that I've followed his career for a long time and think a lot of personally. Guy that played at Vanderbilt and takes great pride in that program, that's been around winning programs, coming from Notre Dame. Somebody that had gotten to know and bumped into a couple times on the recruiting trail throughout my career. I think the first time I met him was at DeMatha, Marshawn Lloyd's alma mater. He was up there, and we were both in the school at the same time, and I met him. And then during when COVID hit last spring and everything got shut down, myself, like a lot of coaches, really took that time to network and develop professionally. And I've talked a lot about how I had some conversations with Pete Limbo during that time and getting to know him and just talking football, and did the same thing with Clark as well, and think a lot of him and his stamp on that program is very evident. They're playing with great effort. Defensively, they start 3 seniors in the secondary. The length that they have on their defense and size will be a problem, as a matchup for a lot of teams, a matchup problem. They're Sam / nickel, whereas we play with David Spalding and Carlin Patel at that Sam linebacker / nickel position. They play with 2 guys that look like Jordan Strawn out there, 6'4", 230-pound type guys. We certainly, against Kentucky has some defensive ends, outside linebackers with length, and Vanderbilt does as well, but bigger, 6'5" and 6'6". Their top 4 defensive ends. So it'll be a big challenge for our offensive tackles and our tight ends handling Vanderbilt's size and length on the perimeter. And then the physicality they play with. They play really, really hard, and that's very obvious when you turn on the tape. Offensively, I think 2 of the top 10 receivers in the SEC in receptions per game are on Vanderbilt's roster. So they've got some receivers with size as well. I know they got their best running back hurt, but the guy that's playing for them right now breaks a lot of tackles and is a really physical runner. And Stanford, one thing about Stanford, I know Stanford plays good defense, and Vanderbilt lined up and rushed the ball for 247 yards against Stanford earlier in the season. 247 yards against Stanford. And we certainly haven't been our best at stopping the run against Kentucky and Tennessee the last 2 weeks, so it's a big challenge for our defense to play gap-sound football, play physical football, create some turnovers, which we didn't do in Knoxville, and we'll play well. And then special teams-wise, always a challenge. These guys do a nice job. As a matter of fact, this special teams coordinator at Vanderbilt worked for Coach Limbo when Coach Limbo was the head coach at Ball State. So we've been kidding him. It's a little bit of a teacher versus pupil matchup this weekend. So certainly he's ready for this one, and we've got to put together a great plan to go compete and try and win that phase against these guys at all. They had opportunities against Florida last weekend, 14-0 going in the score, and they turned the ball over. And then right before the half, they got a 1st and goal on the 1-yard line and aren't able to punch it in for a touchdown. You get a score there, and who knows what happens. So they're a team that's improving by the week. That's obvious when you turn on the video, and has a lot of fight in them. On the road against Colorado State early in the season, down 14-0, and came back and won the football game. So we expect another physical 4-quarter battle this Saturday in Columbia, and off to a great start in practice this week. And looking forward to Saturday. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions. Let me guess, we're going to David first over here in the top, right? No? We are now. All right, let's go, Dave. We're not changing routine.
Thanks, Shane. You hear a lot when it comes to looking at play callers about the feel, the flow of the game. How do you think Marcus has handled that this year, and is it still a thing that you have to work up to during the course of the season?
I think you're learning your team. It's not like he's never called plays before. He was a head coach and called plays. He called plays for a highly successful Temple team with Matt Rule. And somebody that has experience. This isn't like the first time that he's called plays or Clayton White has called plays. I think each game is different and each opponent is different, but certainly feel like he has a good feel and we've got to continue to get the right plays called and execute the plays when they're called.
Shane, just a little while ago, Luke came in, was asked about the progression of the offense, and he said, have you seen progress? And he said, absolutely. I know naturally people will get caught up on the stats and say, well, they haven't made progress. Can you kind of go further and explain when he says absolutely and some of the progress you've seen since the beginning of training camp to heading into this week?
Yeah, we have made progress. We're close. Nobody's happy with 3-3, and nobody's happy statistically where we are from an offensive standpoint, and even certain things from a defensive, special teams, overall team standpoint. But have seen progress and give Tennessee credit. They played well on Saturday, but I'm sure you guys have all gone back and probably watched the replay of the game and watched play after play after play from Saturday. I'm sure you did with the jobs that you guys have, and there were a lot of plays out there that, for whatever reason, receivers open and we weren't able to connect or weren't able to protect long enough, or runs that were this close to being an explosive play. So is it good enough? No. Do we have to constantly continue to work to improve? Sure, but no, I've seen progress. I mean, we did a lot of really good things on Saturday, not in the first quarter, and but if you look at from the, not making light of the first quarter because that can't happen, but once that quarter ended, quarters 2, 3, and 4, did a lot of really good stuff. It wasn't good enough. We lost the football game. There's no moral victories, but there is a lot that I hope we can build upon. And the biggest thing is just trying to constantly develop depth and continue to get some continuity at certain positions. Quarterback being one of them, the continuity part of it.
Hey, Shane, after the game on Saturday, Luke was asked about the offensive struggles with starting games slowly. He mentioned that he felt like there wasn't a real sense of urgency and putting that on himself to kind of bring more urgency to the first quarter. I was wondering, A, if you were seeing the same thing, if you're sensing a lack of urgency, and if so, how surprising that is at the midpoint of the season to see that issue in the first quarter.
I'm not. I don't see that at all. The sense of urgency. Maybe Luke feels that way about himself, but I don't. I said it, and it's not just press conference talk and coach speak. I mean, we had an amazing week of practice last week. Physical, focused. The Friday walkthrough was the best we've had. The meetings in the hotel on Friday, very focused, very efficient. The meetings / walkthrough in the hotel Saturday morning, we were up early. We were into it. We made a big point of emphasis about being even more detailed and efficient and urgent in pregame warm-ups, and we were. The locker room pregame was fantastic. So, no, I felt, if anything, we had more of a sense of urgency than we've ever had. Now, maybe Luke felt that way individually, but we were ready to play. It doesn't look like it based on the way we played in the first quarter, but we had the preparation. I don't think we as coaches could have felt like it went any better, which is still head-scratching that we played like we did in the first quarter. And there's a lot of different reasons of what happened in the first quarter and why it did, and chances to sustain drives offensively on third down and we didn't get it done or whatever it might be. But you're always looking at ways to start better, because I'll be the first to admit that we haven't been as good in the first quarter as we need to be. There's no mistake in that. But it wasn't, from the way I see it, and we've talked about it as a staff, it doesn't have anything to do with lack of urgency starting the game.
Shane, you're now halfway through your first full season at South Carolina. Where do you feel like you've learned about this team and you specifically as a coach these first 6 games?
Team-wise, got a bunch of great young men that'll fight their butts off every single game. You see that. Whether you go back to East Carolina and overcoming adversity and the way we fought at Georgia throughout the game, Kentucky, the way we battled, lack of effort and lack of physicality aren't concerns with this team. So I've certainly learned that about our guys, how much they fight and how much they really enjoy being around each other and coming to work each day, which I appreciate. And then me, I don't know. I mean, every week's different, Colin, or every week I'm just so focused on that task at hand that week and doing everything we have to do in those 7 days or 6 days leading up to each opponent that I really haven't taken a whole lot of time. I mean, certainly after every game you look back at decisions you made and were they the right decision, were they the wrong decision, not just during the game, but everything that you do during the week. And I've said it before, meticulous note taker and write down everything and constantly evaluating myself and what I'm talking to the team about and how we're doing things. So I think you're just constantly learning as the season goes. As far as any specific things, I don't know, nothing that really jumps out right now. I think it's probably just a host of things that each week you get a little bit more and more comfortable and more understanding of what this job entails.
Nick was just in here saying he doesn't feel his individual performance has been good enough. And for you, as we go into the second half of the season, what would you like to see more from him going forward?
I think it's good to hear him say that. I don't think anybody right now should be comfortable with their individual performances, and we should all strive to be better. We talk as a team about trying to improve and improving every practice, and certainly none of us have been good enough. I think with Nick, it's certainly, he would probably say just in the run blocking, sustaining blocks and finishing blocks. We're asking a lot of him and the tight ends from perimeter blocking, the things we're asking them to do out on the perimeter when we throw the ball outside, or we've gotten the ball outside some, to Juju and Kevin and our backs, perimeter blocking, and then we're also asking them to put their hand in the ground and block 270-pound defensive linemen in the SEC. So there's a lot of different things, and that's why the tight end position is so cool, because you do so many different things. And so there's a lot that our tight ends have to do. But that's probably the one thing Nick would probably say that, and that jumps out to me, is just continuing to be, which is not easy, continuing to be dominant and sustain blocks in the run game. And then when he gets opportunities in the passing game, continue to do a great job of catching the ball and making yards after contact.
I know you guys as coaches are pretty well insulated from outside noise and all that stuff, but obviously players are I guess, more susceptible to it. How do you guys try to kind of keep them focused on what you've got going on and trying to tune out some of the outside voices, variables, factors that you
worry about what we can control, and that's coming in this building, and we know what we have in this building. We know what we know the work that we've put into it since January, when I got hired and we started this 2021 football team. We know what we have. We know what we've been through. We know what we got, and that's what matters to us. You want to play in the SEC where you do have that attention, and when you win in this league, things are certainly magnified, and you're great. When you lose in this league, things are obviously magnified and you're not so great, and worrying about, what we can control. I saw we've used this quote with our players some this week. I saw it, I think it was Mel Tucker, who I worked with at Georgia. I saw him say it, but starve your distractions and feed your focus. So we're trying to starve ourselves of distraction and social media and whatnot and feed our focus, which is doing everything that we can to get better as a football team and get better as individuals as we go into this week. It's week to week in this business, and we're not happy. We're 3-3. We're halfway through the season. We've lost 3 games by teams whose combined record is 16-2. We've battled our butts off in every single game, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let one bad quarter against Tennessee define what the second half of this season is going to look like. If we got a bunch of competitors, you'll see a team that'll fight their butts off here the rest of the season and compete and enjoy playing for each other and playing for this university.
Shane, I think I initially noticed it might have been late second quarter, or maybe right out of coming out of the locker room at halftime, but obviously the scoreboard wasn't in your guys' favor, but guys were making a play and you got super fired up on the sideline. How easy is it for you to kind of not look at the scoreboard during the game like that when guys are making plays the way you guys are obviously coaching them up to do? And then two, is it important for you to have that on the sideline personality during the game?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be me. And, when I talk about positive energy and gratitude and all these things that we talk about, that's not just when things are going well. That's got to be in all times also. And it's not easy to do, but we always talk about don't worry about the scoreboard, just play and just compete. And when we went at halftime, we weren't happy with where things were, but we were still – I felt very confident about our ability to go back out there and play in the second half and make some plays. So we don't want to be driven by what the scoreboard says and be like results oriented. We're very just go out there and compete each and every play and don't worry about the scoreboard, and the scoreboard will take care of itself. And then as far as like being excited and celebrating, I'm never going to be a guy that, I'm only going to be excited and celebrate with our guys when things are going well and we're winning. I mean, that's at all times as well. And if I'm not doing that when the scoreboard is not in our favor, then I'm not being very real. And really just gets down for me. I love seeing our guys have success. And I know how much work they put into it out there on the practice field, how much work they put into it in the weight room. So to see them have success during games, that's what it's all about. And that's strictly what my energy, excitement was as well. Somebody sent me a thing. I guess, it's legendary. My dad's reaction of the Wake Forest game when it's 0-0, and it will never, ever go away. But I guess I've created a new one because there's a shot of me celebrating when it's 35-7. But you know what? I really don't care. That's me, and it'll always be me. Hopefully there's not too many instances where it's 35-7 and I'm like that, but I'm always going to celebrate with our guys and be happy for them when they make plays. I mean, I love these kids, love these young men in this program, and love seeing them have success, but love also seeing them go out there and battle their tails off when the scoreboard wasn't what you wanted it to be, and that game could have easily gotten away from us and from a lot of teams, and we didn't let it happen.
Well, let me first compliment you. Your biceps look pretty big in that photo, though.
Thank you. We'll give him a few questions. So thank Chip Morton and Luke Day for anything. Their little workout routine they've put me in was really just to keep in shape. Now all of a sudden, like, clothes don't fit and stuff like that because of what they're doing in the weight room. But thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Is your confidence in how successful this offense can be taking any kind of hit over the results of the first 6 games? And what kind of gives you the confidence that y'all can start hitting on those plays that you say you are there, that y'all just keep missing on by just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's continuing to work and execute. But no, my confidence hasn't taken a hit. The same group that I was confident about going into the season is the same group that's out there right now. And in preseason, I've talked about injuries, and we're halfway through the season, so I'm not talking about guys that weren't there during preseason camp, but we were excited about Kevin Harris and Marshawn and Juju and Zaquandre and those guys going into the season. They're still there and still are. We were excited about Jaheim and Nick and Travion Kenyon and those guys, and they're still there. E.J. Jenkins, Van, Joyner, Brooks, all of our receivers, they're still there. Our offensive line, we've had a little bit of lack of continuity on the left side a little bit, but all the pieces that I was excited about going into the season are still out there, are still here and a part of it. And I just see those guys continue to get better and improve during practice. I see backup offensive linemen or second group offensive linemen get in there on Saturday like Wanamaker and Vinny Murphy and those guys and play well. I see Hank Manos and the way that he gets better in practice and on and on and on. So, no, I'm not happy with where we are. Nobody is. But the group that I was excited about coming into the season, we still are. They're still there.
Hey, Coach. Kevin had his best game rushing against Tennessee. He had 2 touchdowns and 61 yards, I believe. How promising is it to see that he's kind of getting his legs back and he's getting better week to week and, like, just towards the rest of the season when you look towards the second half of the season? Yeah, very much so. We're going to need him. We're going to need all those running backs to continue to get better as it goes on. And he had some really good runs on Saturday, and we've got to continue to bring him along and continue to get this running game going. And our offensive line did some good things on Saturday, and I thought they did a better job of sustaining blocks and finishing blocks downfield. And when you do that, your running game's going to look better, and we got to continue to do that.
Shane, I think the win streak over Vanderbilt for you guys goes back to when you were here as an assistant. Do you kind of balance that line between, allowing the guys to feel confidence knowing they've had success against them with warnings about, hey, we still have to go out there and make it happen? Yeah, because I was here. I don't know if I think it was 07. I remember getting beat. Huh? Was it? Yeah, you're scaring me now. But no, I remember going up to Chapel Hill, North Carolina the week before. We beat a good North Carolina team. We were 6-1. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves, and we came back here and lost to Vanderbilt at home and had a bunch of pre-snap penalties and didn't play well. So I was here for that. And then I remember what happened after that as well, which wasn't fun after the rest of the season. But every year is different. They've had a lot of coaches since then. South Carolina's had some different coaches since then. It's a new Carolina this year. It's a new Vanderbilt. Certainly, to answer your question, you want your guys confident, but I would hope when our guys turn on the tape, they also see the physicality they play with and the size, particularly on defense, that they have. And that should get our guys' attention. But, we're always going to there's a great, healthy respect for every opponent that we play, and then every single week, whether you're playing Vanderbilt or whether we're playing Georgia or whether we're playing Alabama, every single week is let's do our very best to be at our very best on Saturday and worry about ourselves also each and every week.
Whether it's getting some of the skill guys more involved or playing other guys in other areas, getting some more snaps, is there anybody else that you feel like has earned some more playing time and that should play more, I guess, this last half of the season?
Yeah, I'd see a bunch of guys. If you watch closely on Saturday, we played a couple more defensive linemen than we normally do at the tackle position. You saw Devontae Davis and you saw MJ Webb in there a little bit more. They're doing a nice job. Joey Hunter got in there from a special team standpoint on Saturday and did some good things. Offensive line, mentioned those guys. All those quarterbacks continue to compete and get better, and they're all pushing each other. Jason, Colton, Luke, Zeb, they all are. So I think there's a lot of guys. On Sunday evenings before I come in and do the teleconference with you guys, the last thing that we do is basically it's not really a scrimmage, but it's 11 on 11, and it's a lot of those young guys that we're trying to develop that maybe didn't play a lot the day before in the game, and they basically go against each other in a team period. And those are some spirited, competitive, get after it sessions in practice, watching those guys compete and get better. We showed a video to the team this morning in the team meeting of it just to make sure they saw how guys like Rashad Amos are running the football in that period, how Tyreek Johnson is doing a great job of getting off blocks and making tackles, how Tyshawn Wanamaker, Vinnie Murphy, Hank, Trey Jones, all those guys, the way they're working on the offensive line. So you gotta, we're halfway through the season. I mean, you would hope that over the next 6 games, since we're at the halfway point, you would have a lot of guys continue to get better and take their game to a higher level. And if they do, we'll do nothing but get better as a football team.
Shane, 2 questions. Do you anticipate rotating more offensive linemen into it through the game? And second of all, how close are you to figuring out maybe this offensive identity and what you guys major in over the course of the next 6 games?
As far as offensive linemen, I think each week's different. Those guys are certainly practicing well, and we'll base a lot of it off practice. But I think those guys have shown that they can play at a really high level when they go in the game, and that was good to see. So we've got total confidence in those guys. And then, as far as identity, it's not like each week we're running a lot of different plays. I mean, we're doing a lot of the same stuff each and every week, and it's not like, oh crap, this didn't work against Troy, let's try this whole new run scheme. I mean, every week we line up and we run inside zone, we line up and run what teams call duo, we line up and run outside zone. We've mixed in some pin and pull. We ran some counter the other day against Tennessee. So those are, our base runs that we're always going to hang our hat on. And then a lot of the concepts that we're doing in the passing game are the same ones that we, throw week after week. I mean, a lot of the pass concepts we threw against Tennessee the other day are the same ones we threw against Eastern Illinois in game 1. But as the year goes on, we just want to be able to more definitively impose our will on people in regards to being able to run the football when we need to run it and throw it when we need to throw it.
Hey, Shane, you kind of touched on it a second ago with the second half of the season, wanting to see individual guys' improvement. But as a team, beyond the record, what are you going to be looking for out of this team in the final 6 games that's going to let you know what you're building is starting to take root in season 1?
I think for us, it's just maximize the potential of this team, and I've told you guys that since July and August that to me is a successful season, and if we can be the very best 2021 South Carolina football team, whatever that is, I'll be happy. And then I'm seeing tons of signs of what we're doing is guys buying in. All you got to do is watch the effort we play with every Saturday and know that these guys are playing their butts off and are enjoying being a part of this.
Wanted to check on Cam Smith and Jalen Nichols. Are either one of them available Saturday?
Yeah, they both practiced today. They should both be full go for Saturday. They were out there today full go. So unless something happens between now and Saturday, they should be totally fine. Yeah, I forgot to mention injuries. We're fine, knock on wood. We're injury-wise. We're in great shape. Like I told you the other day, a bunch of bumps and bruises. That was a physical game against Tennessee, but no one was limited in practice that wasn't a usual, suspect that had been out previously, or that wasn't not out previously, I should say.
And just to follow up with that, I know Vershawn Lee was the offensive lineman of the game a couple of weeks ago. Do you think he keeps his starting spot at left guard, or is that something you evaluate?
Yeah, it's something in practice. Again, we're all about competition, and that's every single position on the team, from quarterback to defensive tackle to whatever. The guys that continually give us the best chance to play and compete and practice the right way are the ones that are going to be out there. So, yes, Vershawn played well against Tennessee, certainly had some plays he would like to have back like we all did, but I would anticipate that going forward, for this week, assuming he continues to practice the right way as well. But a lot of those guys that can play that guard position, whether it be Vinny, Hank, Jalen, all those guys are practicing well also, and we've got some great competition going at a lot of different positions right now. Okay, thanks. Have a great week, guys.
All right, guys, that was Shane Beamer. We're back taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I see you guys are having a fantastic time in the comments, by the way, going back and forth. So I'll let you all stick to that conversation. I'm not going to interject. But for those who do want to get some questions in, some calls, again, 843-790-3377. You can call that number, text that number, whatever you like. I thought what was interesting, I think Shane Beamer spent probably the first about 5 minutes or so urging fans to get out to Williams-Brice Stadium this weekend. I think he knows that the attendance is not going to be very good. So, hey, as Coach Beamer said, though, if you're a Gamecock season ticket holder, if you got tickets and you're not going, at minimum, give them to somebody else. Make sure somebody else uses them. Somebody will use them. So get them out there. Don't just hold on to tickets and not go. But hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what Beamer said. Courtney Washington says nobody wants to see a blowout. You mean South Carolina blowing out Vanderbilt, correct? Is that what you're saying, Courtney? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I thought that was interesting, though. He spent about the first 5 minutes urging fans to get out to the game. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Less than 15 minutes to go here on a Tuesday, October the 12th, 2020. I'll tell you guys, I've told you all this before. It's crazy when you're making content how quickly these weeks just fly by. I mean, it really, and guys, the season going to be over. It's going to be Clemson week before you know it. So, Courtney Washington, okay, I just want to make sure, Courtney, you were talking about South Carolina blowing out Vandy. Why would fans not want to show up to that? Why would you not want to show up and watch your team kick somebody's ass? Then what do you want to see? You know what I mean? Again, I'm not dogging anybody for not going. Whatever. I mean, do whatever you want. If you got other plans, so be it. But, I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff Gullidge, again, if you don't want to go to the game, so be it. If you're a season ticket holder, though, and you don't go, that's just weird. And you don't sell your tickets, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, whatever. Anyways. To each their own. Again, I'm not going to tell you to. Yeah, I think Gamecock fans would love to see a blowout, whether they are there in person or not. Whether they're there in person or not. Tell you what, y'all been going off in the comments, huh? Y'all have been going off in the comments. Let's see. The YouTube, yeah, Cody Gaskins, the YouTube channel. Yeah, we got some banter going on the YouTube channel. Yeah, my bad. That's the comments I'm referring to. Let's see. But yeah, anyways, Shane Beamer. Overall thoughts on the presser. Again, I didn't think anything crazy. Very complimentary of Vanderbilt, which of course, coach speak, whatever. Yeah, I mean, hearing his confidence, they're still very confident about the offense. Hey, newsflash. Marcus Satterfield's going nowhere, folks. Marcus Satterfield's going nowhere. Sorry about it. So, he'll live another week as Gamecocks OC. Jeff Gullidge says, I live in Texas. I'll be at the game next weekend. Very good. Hey, by the way, that game next weekend, we will be at Carolina Ale House in downtown Greenville for the Texas A&M game. Just to keep you guys updated, I'll be dropping a graphic a little bit later this week. But we will be at the Carolina Ale House in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. So be sure you check that out. Going to be a really, really good time. So had a blast the last time we were there. Had a blast. About 10 minutes to go, guys, here on a Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021. Be sure, by the way, guys, our giveaways we're running on Instagram. Got a couple of giveaways with our good friends Summer Doodles, a fantastic Williams-Brice piece we're giving away. Also, we're giving away a pair of tickets. We're giving away a pair of tickets to Saturday's game, thanks to our friends right here at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. So go check out that giveaway as well. It's certainly something you don't want to miss. We'll be giving those away Thursday and Friday, respectively. So really awesome. Appreciate those two fun folks, and looking forward to giving back to the Gamecocks community. So. But yeah, no, I would say this. I think many of you out there, could greatly benefit from taking Shane Beamer's advice and, living out the things that Shane Beamer says in the sense of like love and gratitude, in the sense, guys, you can't be negative if you're grateful. You can't be negative if you're grateful. And so for me, it's like, Am I throwing a parade because we're 3-3? No, but I am grateful we're 3-3 because we could easily be 1-5 right now, easily. So that's why I'm not all coming on this show every single day saying fire this guy, fire that guy. Guys, we're 3-3. We could be 1-5. We're kind of right where we're supposed to be. Again, we're right where we're supposed to be. We've won the games we were supposed to win. We've lost the games we were supposed to lose. I picked us to start 4-2. We're 3-3. We're only a game off. It's not like it's been a disaster start to the season. It's not like it's been a disaster start. And there's 6 more opportunities to go. Can you go 3-3 in your next 6? That's the question. Can you go 3-3 in your next 6? It's going to be tough. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. So, got to have that 4th win, got to beat Vandy. No question. You got to beat Vandy. There's no doubt. You got to beat Vandy. You're an 18-point favorite at home. You better beat Vanderbilt. There's no doubt. You better beat Vanderbilt. Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely better beat Vanderbilt. So, and just to give you guys an idea, my thoughts on Vandy, I think Troy and East Carolina would beat Vanderbilt. So, just my thoughts. Troy, for certain, would beat Vandy. So. Lee says, it's not so much Beamer, it's just 6 years of the same problems. Beamer's the guy if he's not officially a baseball school. JT Money, $500 on Prize Picks. Atta babe. There you go. Very nice. Stephanie Lee says, saw a Cox by 90 sticker in Lexington today. Love it. Go Gamecocks. Yeah, love that. Cox by 90. Cox by 90. Twan Love Kick says, Chris, what makes you think it's going to be a blowout? I didn't say it was going to be a blowout. Courtney did. I haven't given my prediction yet. But I'm just telling you the facts as you are an 18-point favorite. So there's a chance it could be a 3-touchdown game. It may not. It may be a battle. Who knows? It might be, but you are an 18-point favorite. You are an 18-point favorite. So, again, it's just coming off the Tennessee loss and everything that happened. I understand, again, it's very popular this week to say, oh, we can't beat anybody. We're just terrible. We can't do this. We can't do that. We have no chance. I wouldn't be surprised if Vandy upset us. But again, not spoiling any of my thoughts later in the week. But guys, realistically, Vandy's terrible. Vandy's terrible. I'm not saying Carolina's going to go out there and win 45-6, but Vandy is garbage. Vandy's garbage. So you got them at home. It's homecoming. Again, you're an 18-point favorite. You're an 18-point favorite. So, JT Money says he's got the Gamecocks beating Vanderbilt 27-6. I think that's a fair score prediction. That's fair. Is this the game? Carolina finally hits 30 points. Is this the game? Is this the game it happens? Justin Warren says was rocking the Beamer Ball and merch in Knoxville. Had several people asking where I got them. Everybody loved the Gamecock overall. It's a very hard game to be there and watch. Justin, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the love and support. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. So, you know what I like about Beamer, though, man, again, from his presser, he's got a ton of spirit, got a ton of spunk. He definitely hears the noise. There's no question, and I think it drives him. I think it fuels him, to be honest with you. I think it fuels him. You know, he made the point of, hey, we're not going to let one quarter. He said, quote, I'll be damned if I'm going to let one quarter at Tennessee define what the rest of the season will be. So, you know, you got to love the energy. You got to love the determination. You got to love the fire. So he knows it needs to be fixed. He knows that South Carolina's got to play better, and he's going to do his damnedest to make sure that happens. So I appreciate it. I rock with Coach. All aboard the Shane train. Give it time. Be patient. It's a process. It's a rebuild. Believe it or not, it's a rebuild. It is a rebuild. It is a rebuild. So let him work. You got to let the guy work, man. You got to let the guy work. Luke RJ says, Beamer can plead with South Carolina fans all he wants to get people to go to the game, but that definitely won't help. Playing better in the games will only help people come to the games. That's it. Well, then I'll tell you this again, Luke RJ, I'm not trying to demonize the fan base, but then let's stop loosely throwing around the best fan base in all of college football, because the best fan base in college football is going to pack the stadium no matter what. Nebraska's still packing it. I mean, can I say this? And I don't want to insult anybody, but like, I just don't understand. If you're a Gamecock fan, what else do you have to do on a Saturday, like on a game day Saturday for a home game? What else are you doing? I mean, like if you're a diehard Carolina fan, why else would, like, again, I'm not trying to get in anybody's pocket. Like, hey, if you don't want to spend the money, and if you don't want to go, it doesn't bother me. But I'm curious. Like, you know, I kind of look at it. I see both sides of it. I'll just say that I see both sides. Like the price, the product, COVID. You know, there are many reasons why you wouldn't go, but at the same time, if those aren't an issue for you, it's like you only get 7 home. I mean, dude, it's who doesn't want to go to Columbia and just party for a weekend and party at the stadium? And I don't know. I mean, again, I'm very hesitant to come after the fan base, but you know, it's unfortunate. The attendance will probably be lacking just a bit, but hopefully we have a great crowd. Hopefully we do. And all we got's all we need. Those are in the building. Those are the ones that, you know, Carolina will rock with, and just go from there. So just go from there. You know, we spend 4, 5, 6, we spend like upwards of 6 months clamoring for football, just begging for football to come back. And then it's like people don't even, they want to check out mid-season. It doesn't make any sense. You're already ready for it to be over. You spent 6 months getting ready for it and begging for it to come back. I don't get that. I don't get that. Anyways. Like I said, hey, I'm not dogging anybody. If you don't want to go, if you want to wait till the product's better, that's totally your right, and I understand it. I understand it's tough to bring a family of 4 to a game. It's tough to even go to a game at all, you know, with all the expenses and everything. I get it. So do as you must, but it was interesting to hear Shane Beamer pleading with Gamecock fans to get people in the building. So, yeah. Now, Luke RJ, I hear you. I think it's a little more of an expense going to a road game, but I guess for some people it is like 3 hours away coming to Willie B. I don't know. Hey, it is what it is, man. I totally understand. Again, Luke, I'm not trying to come in any fans. If you don't want to go to the game, it doesn't bother me. Watch it on TV. It is what it is, whatever. But, yeah. So I just thought it was interesting to hear Shane Beamer continue to plead with fans to get in the stadium. Either way, go Bravos. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Yes, Braves playing at 5:15. Justin Warren, last question. Think Morton can get it done this afternoon? Let's hope. You got to punch your ticket today, man. At home, you don't want to take the series back to Milwaukee. You got to punch it today. All right, guys. Hey, it's 2 o'clock. We'll get out of here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much for the continued love and support. Check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 516. Episode 516. Alex McGrath and I talking everything about the Tennessee game, as well as looking ahead to this weekend as the Gamecocks take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Again, folks, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll